not do this. Hey guys, so this is Zen speaking, the host of the channel. This title of this video is He Did What? And probably in the bio it says down below, it says it might be triggering to some. All the things that we are going to go over is 100% on fact, non-fictional, and there is proof. The proof is us, me, Tyler, Sky, and everybody else who I don't really want to name because there's so many of them so far. So, you guys should already know them by now because if you've been watching this channel, then you would already see them. This is very triggering for me and most. There may be some switches on camera, and I don't like doing switches because when I watch my videos, it scares me to see that I switch and have no memory of such characters or personalities or alters coming out and talking on my behalf or for their behalf, and it is frightening and scary for most and also myself. I suffer from it, but it's not really a suffering point for me. I'm not embarrassed to have DID. I'm just scared because of the negativity that I've had so far in the past to now on people making fun of me and such. But I really hope that this video doesn't get hate because this is on factual things that we are going to discuss in this video, and if anybody actually had like a heart or common sense or anything like that, then they'll probably try and have empathy for me or relate to me. I'm not really asking for attention or, oh, look at me, I'm a sad little boy, having no resources, no family, no friends, such things. And look at me, I need help, or, oh, I need a hug or something like that. I'm not asking for any of those empathy, I'm just gonna get my story out because, well, this coronavirus is killing many people around the world, and I want to just share my story finally, and get my story out there for everyone to hear. So if something does happen to me or happen to us in general, then at least our story has been out there. So if I do switch in this video, then please don't think I'm acting. This is not an act. You can't act these things. I have medical reports over here, which is off side of the camera at the moment. I have all my evidence all ready to show the camera, so you can see that I've been to a psychologist and that's what I'm diagnosed with, and this is this and this is that, and fact is that our stepfather did something to us. um, and everything. So hope you guys can watch the full video. Might be 20 to 25 minutes. Introduction is already about 5 minutes now, but thank you for watching so far, and I hope it's not triggering for you to watch the rest. Stay tuned. So I was about 14 and a bit, and I was going to high school. I had a girlfriend and all that kind of stuff. The average teenage shit. Until I got invited to a Latin American festival up in there, Bendigo. So it was in between Bendigo and also Melbourne, so Victoria, and I was currently living in New South Wales, so I was just like, okay, that's cool. So it was like an Easter festival, and it was hosted by some of our Latin American friends that were from Peru, and they were hosting it, and they were fixing up the event, and they asked for my mum and my stepfather's help with fixing the festival. And then also got me because I was artistic and all that kind of stuff and creative, and they asked me to do little tiny things and chopping up some food and making food and all that kind of stuff. So that was cool. Until a few weeks in, probably a few days, probably like 5 or 6 days to be precise. My mum and my stepfather didn't really have sex because we were actually staying in a caravan, and their bed was like literally over here. My bed was over here. They tried to have sex, privately and secretive, so all so quiet and all that. But every time when I tossed or turned in my sleep, they would stop, and then they would have to not have sex. So after a while, my mum asked me to hop into her bed at one stage, and I did because she wanted me to tickle her back, and I always loved tickling my mum's back. I don't care when, whatever, anything like that, because when I was growing up, my mum used to bribe her children and say, I'll give you $10 if you tickle my back for like 10 minutes or something like that. So it was like, a cool activity and also get paid for it. But I didn't care. I didn't want the money. I just tickled her back because I don't know, I enjoyed drawing pictures in somebody's back and all that. Anyways, I was a very weird child. But anyways, so I was pretty slim. I was not really anorexic, but I was slim, and I was a little bit fat and had nice emo hair, and not really nice emo hair, but I just had emo hair, and I looked like pretty much like a little emo 14-year-old lad kind of thing. Anyways, so at one stage, at that stage when my mum asked me to go tickle her back and all that, I hopped in the middle of my stepfather and my mum. My mum's on this side on the edge of the bed, and then I was in the middle of the bed, and my stepfather was on the other side of the bed against the wall. Anyways, we hopped into bed, and then tickled my mum's back, and she went to sleep. And then I also eventually went to sleep too because it's boring as hell, and it was like freaking 4 o'clock. Not 4 o'clock, like probably 1 o'clock in the morning kind of thing. So I obviously went to bed too. Anyways, so at that point, I was facing my mum's back, and then I turned over and faced my stepfather's face, I guess. But I was asleep, so that's I turned over like that. Anyways, my stepfather had a weird thing with him. He couldn't sleep in a bed or anybody's bed without taking his clothes off. So he would always sleep naked or partially naked with like undies or something on. Anyways, at that stage, he must have had like a dream or something like that, and he got a boner, and he rubbed against me, thinking it was my mum. And then I woke up and I felt something in my hand, and it was his dick, or if I can say dick on here, I don't know if I'm gonna get flagged or what, but I guess his private parts. And at that point, we obviously we didn't hold it or anything. We reacted, and we were like, "No, this is not gonna happen. This is not. What is this kind of thing?" And then my stepfather decided to whisper in my ear and said, "Touch it again." And then at that point, I was like, what the fuck is this? Am I in a dream? Why would I be dreaming about these things? This is gross. That's gay. And at that time, I wasn't really gay, so I wasn't out of the closet or anything. And I didn't really think about having sex with guys or anything like that, or sex in general, because I was just this innocent little child. So obviously, I was like, yeah, nah, kind of thing. Not like these 14, 15 year olds now, all involved around sex and all that. I lived on a farm and grew up on a farm and, isolated rural community. So obviously I didn't really think about sex until I was like 16, pretty much, or 17. I didn't even lose my virginity until I was 18. So there you go. But let's go back to the story. So, um, at that time, he whispered in my ear and said, "Touch it again." And I obviously reacted and was like, "What is this? It's this weird dream, blah blah blah." So I just tried to go back to sleep and forgot about it. Um, but then he mm, I can't do this. Oh, hello there. Um, I don't know what just happened there. I think Zen decided to, I guess, switch. This is Tyler now. Uh, I don't know what he was talking about. I guess where were we? Oh, there you go. There's cards down here. Um, he was on number 8 topic, talking about stepfather. Oh, okay. So, um, I guess he was possibly up around there. His father was talking about do it again or something like that. Okay, so let's just start from not the beginning, but I guess around there. So obviously at that time, Zen or Luke at the time, as he was known as, he obviously decided to um, I guess, dissociates in general at that point without him knowing that he was dissociating. His stepfather came up to him and whispered in his ear and said, "Touch me again, jerk me off. If you don't, then I'll ground you or take your PSP off you and all those things." So he obviously tried to blackmail Luke or Zen at the time. Zen Luke at the time. Let's just say Luke at this stage because everyone knows who Zen is, and well, Luke changed his name to Zen, migrated, so on. Anyways, so it's Tyler at the moment. So if you didn't hear before, it's Tyler. And I guess I'm just taking over now because I guess Zen couldn't really take the emotional effect of what happened to him. So I'm going to take over and just let's talk about what happened next. So obviously Luke decided to touch his father and jerk his father off, his stepfather that is, and at that point, his stepfather said that if he told anybody about what just happened, because Luke at the time was 14 and a bit, and his stepfather was in his 40s, so obviously it was very a strange time for I guess can't be selfish here, or we can't be selfish here with what happened with his stepfather and Luke, but it was a very confusing time at that stage. That happening in that moment and so on. So Luke didn't have much choices to the matter but listen to his stepfather's wishes. And his stepfather obviously blackmailed him into submission, which was like, I'll ground you, I'll stop you talking to your girlfriend, I'll stop you talking to your grandma, I'll bash up your mom, I'll kill your grandmother, and all that kind of stuff. So threats that Luke obviously knew that his stepfather would actually go forward in, because in the past years of his upbringing, Luke's upbringing, he has witnessed his stepfather, bash up his grandma before and his family members and very violent person around his upbringing. So obviously, Luke just did what his stepfather said. Until the next day, he decided to try and hint it to his mother, and his mother decided to react and was like brush it off and thought it was like a joke, haha, or you hate your stepfather, it's an average thing. Like in movies and such things like that, people hate their stepmother because their stepmother's evil and they punish them and all that kind of stuff. Stepfather, same old kind of storyline. So Luke's mother at the time was just like, we'll just brush it off, like they're just a kid making up things about their stepfather, let's just brush it off. So that happened to Luke for months on months. It was for the Easter holidays, and after the Easter holidays in June or July, it ended for a little bit because uh, Luke's stepfather had a bit of an accident with his gallbladder, and he couldn't do sexual activity with anybody but himself. So he would have to jerk himself off and all that kind of stuff. And he couldn't even do that. He was so much in pain. So at that time, Luke was free to express himself and find out what was happening with himself and also with everyone else who was actually integrating with him at that time. Because at that time of points, of that mind frame that he was going through at the time, he did not know what MPD was, DID was, or any of those spectrums or alternatives. And he at the time was just like very confused. So I was there, me, Tyler, I was a witness to most of those things. I am about to cry, but I don't really want to cry on camera. And with Zen, I don't know if how he feels about what happened to him back then to now. I don't know if he's fully got over it. But we we exist in Zen's life at the moment for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to protect him from all these issues that he's struggling with, all caused by his stepfather. But anyways, let's go back to the story. So after July, it started up again about a month later, and Luke decided to go up on a family trip up to Queensland and back, and that went on for about possibly 6 or 7 months. And for that whole 6 and 7 months, he got abused sexually, physically, mentally, and emotionally by his stepfather, and also his mother included, because his mother just thought that Luke had a grudge against his stepfather and making up these false accusations, assumptions, I guess, about his stepfather. So obviously his mother decided to go, oh, he's just doing this to get attention, all that kind of stuff. So she just shrugged it off and then also blamed and guilt tripped Luke in submission of the whole scenario. So anyways, that died down a little bit, and then he decided he had an opportunity to actually escape from his life at the time, and to actually be his own person. Luke had an opportunity to just get rid of this bad negative energy in his life, his mother, his stepfather, and everything. He had to give up a lot of things, like some friends, his neighborhood, his family, his grandma, which he totally loves, like fully loved, like so. His emotional struggles with his grandmother was so strong. His grandmother raised him from a young boy to an adult almost, and his grandma sadly died from brain tumor though. But we're here to help him through that struggle at that stage, and we are still helping him with his struggles at the moment. And he was actually meant to come out and talk to you guys about his struggles with his stepfather, but I guess he couldn't really say it, I guess. I don't know what happened to him, but it must have been that struggling that he can't finish the rest of the story, and he has to get me, Tyler, to come out and talk about the rest. So I don't know for the story, but I'm just coming up with what his memories is, or because we're integrated, me and Zen, and also Luke and Azrael and everybody else. But we still miss out on certain key points of memories and such things like that. So I don't know what to say. At that time, yeah, Luke obviously had an opportunity to leave all that negativity behind and go and sacrifice everything that he knew of. But at that time, it was just suffering with constant abuse, sucking his stepfather off, jerking him off, having sex with him getting fucked by him, and then he had to fuck his own stepfather as well on multiple occasions, which was really gross for my perception, because I'm a third person looking upon it, and also for everyone else who is in the cluster of Zen's mind. It is just so disturbing that one family member, one adopted family member into an existing family can actually do such things to an innocent little child and destroy his life in and outwards throughout time. It is just so struggling that there's people out there like that can actually destroy oneself's family and the whole existence. Suicide, depression, self-harm, drug abuse, sexual abuse from other people, embarrassing stories that they have to tell to one relationship to the next, and so on. And it's just so upsetting and distressing for all of us living inside of Zen. And it's so much harder for Zen to actually express himself when we all know that he can't survive without any of us actually taking part of the blame, or taking part of the responsibility, or all of the responsibility and all of the blame. If we weren't here to save him from from himself, then Zen would have died a long, long time ago. And that is a sad fact that we have to exist in his reality for Zen to just get ahead in life or just stay alive for another day, um, which is just so depressing. I think I just got sidetracked there, but my emotional states and everybody else's emotional state and Zen's emotional state, he's in the back right now, just oh whoa, I don't know what just happened there. I think somebody else has wanted to come through. I think that was Michael. He wanted to come through and get his anger out for what what Zen's stepfather did to him. Oh, I'm trying to push him back here. I'm going to try and finish this story, and then Michael can come out and talk about whatever he's feeling at the moment. He really wants to come out, so let's just finish the story. So Zen obviously decided to go to his sister and stay with his sister for a while, and then his sister eventually found out he got raped by his stepfather and so on. And then his sister, Luke's sister, she came up with empathy about it because when she was a little girl or whatnot, she also got raped by a man too, and that's what happened. And she obviously had empathy about it, so she adopted Luke into her, which was her original family anyways, but adopted her little brother into her household up in Canberra, which was a different state altogether, and she had a different lifestyle to Zen and everybody else in the family, and she was independent, living by herself and so on, had a job, everything. She sacrificed everything for Luke, and it is very, very upsetting because Luke only wanted one person to believe his story. And regards to that, after a while, his own sister turned against him and thought he was making up lies and such things as well. So that is a very upsetting story there. But long story short, it went to the police, it went to court, and never actually been finalized ever since. But Zen really deserves justice for he really needs closure for the justice that he has never had for his family, his friends, and just himself in general. All of us are in struggling emotions at this stage, and we are suffering from this complicated and disordinary and just I think we just went over the whole complicated side of things of this DID, dissociative identity disorder. It is something that we all struggle with, and like within the DID community, that is not like everybody has that kind of thing. But Zen just needs closure on this. His mother is still getting beaten up by this stepfather figure in his life because he's not there to getting sexually abused by his stepfather. So his stepfather's getting jealous about the whole issue of him actually living his life up in a new neighborhood up in Sydney and so on and all that kind of stuff. Living in by himself, having his own apartment and so on. He obviously still has struggles and so on like that, but he's living his life, and his stepfather's obviously getting jealous over that fact, and his stepfather wants to abuse his mother just knowing that he might have feelings still for his mother, so he will be guilt-tripped into going down there and helping his mother. Now, Zen has been down there on multiple occasions to try and fix his family life, try and pretend to love his stepfather in a stepfather way and a stepson way. He went down there to help his mother become vegan and more accepting to his lifestyle of being gay and porn star and such things like that. He went down there to get his mother to finally get a divorce from this terrible figure in her life that has destroyed her life, her family's life, her daughter's life, her son's life, everything, and also her own mother's life, which she sorely died from a brain tumor, and also all this drama that happened between me and my stepfather, and us in general, not just me, but us in general. It is just so mind muffling, confusing to actually explain to you guys about what all the details of everything that has happened in the past 7 years in a 30 or 40-minute video. It is impossible to get every fact and every detail in one video. So that is all I can say for now, I guess. Thank you for watching me, Tyler, to explain this. I don't know if Zen's going to come out again to tell you the rest. It's really upsetting that he couldn't come out and tell you the story that he actually originated to tell you in the first place. But we can't blame him because he's been struggling with this for a very long time to come out clean and renew his life and just to tell somebody before, if he dies from this coronavirus or if he survives, he just wants to tell his story just in case if something bad happens. So here's some medical reports of what Zen had to go through when he went down to his family loss. His stepfather decided to break one of these bones here. That's just the Tyndale Medical Center. That's where he's currently nearby, I guess. Let's not put addresses in. And then this is what the doctors decided to write there. So you can probably pause here and zoom and watch, read it, I guess. And that's that. Some medical certificates again. What else is there? Rent certificate. Hang on, I'll be right back. I'm trying to get Zen to come back out. Hello, I don't know what just happened there. I guess Tyler took over for me, and thank you, Tyler, for telling my audience or whoever's watching right now the story of my abuse with my stepfather, sexual abuse. I'm not going to go back into it for now because I don't want to get triggered again and maybe another personality to come out. Lucky Michael didn't come out on camera because he would obviously swear quite a lot, and I don't want him to come out because, well, he's a very violent character, and it's due to all the stress that I'm with everybody else who is living within me. Stress, just a lot of stress and a lot of confusion and a lot of just stress in general, and this anger as well just grows, and then you just want to either punch somebody in the head or literally just grab somebody and just go, like, twist their head kind of thing and just kill them. But obviously I'm not like saying, hey, I want to go kill people, but it's just, that's the urge. It's like you just want to grab them and just go, and then it'd be the end of the story. No more stress anymore, yay. But anyways, I think Tyler was trying to get me more organized again because he likes me to be organized, and I guess he couldn't find the pieces of papers and stuff of, more proof about, me having DID and what our life is, and, sexual abuse and all that kind of stuff. So this is my past psychologist, Rennie Smith is his name, or Smith or something like that. That's him there. Yeah, you can probably pause it and, view it. View it. No, that's terrible. View him. Sorry. Him's not a it. Why did I just say that? That's bloody terrible. Good pronouns I have. Anyways, and then this is the medical report that he made for all of us. It does present the word Luke for the first bit because that's his biological name, but me, Zen, I have gone and asked for name of change thing through death marriages and birth certificates and so on. I don't know what that certificate is, but I'll show you later maybe. But this is the most important thing. So if you guys can probably pause and view it and then read through it, I guess, if that's possible. If you can't, then I'll just probably upload the photos later down the track. But anyways, if you paused and viewed most of it, it just goes over. Let's just read it on camera. 800.14 dissociative identity disorders, DSM-5. That's all the protocol things. Post-traumatic stress disorder with dissociative symptoms, depersonalization and derealization, concurrent and complex symptoms associated with gender dysphoria, because, well, we all suffer from this gender dysphoria and also body dysphoria. We just can't, like, look at us, we're like bloody ugly as hell. But anyways, my video is going to be cutting off soon. Great.